Hey, it's Ed O'Keefe. I'm in Syracuse Airport, so thanks for listening to this little episode of the Ed O'Keefe Show. Today I'm going to take you to one of my live events where it was in Atlanta. It was one of our Traffic Mastery live events, and so we have a clip on why right now is the best time to be advertising online and growing your business using Facebook, Instagram. Did you know that Facebook and Instagram, actually people spend more time on those two combined than any other medium out there? So guess what? That's where your customers are. And for those of you who wonder like, oh, but Ed, my customers are older. Well, guess what? They are some of the best purchasers through those social medias. Because during the day, when their grandkids and kids aren't calling them, guess where they're at? Social media. So anyhow, enjoy this episode and we'll see you on the other side. Thanks so much.
Hey, I'm Brent. Nice to see you guys. So thanks for a great weekend. So I do a lot of stuff that everybody else does. Facebook traffic, ninja tricks. There are a dime a dozen, but there's some takeaways I thought I would share from my ears that actually resonated with me that maybe you guys didn't hear the same way I did. So negative keywords or negative lookalike audiences, that's ginormous. I don't know if you guys realize how big that is. That's a big deal. And then exclusion audiences from Ezra from yesterday. Those are another ones that are ginormous. I tend to skip that a lot and being lazy. But in the things that I do, I operate Econ Dropship stores, have a couple brands, and one of the things that I do that people find the most interesting is I buy Amazon liquidation. And so, which means that I literally buy semi-trucks full of stuff from Amazon. And it comes and they drop them off at my warehouse, and it's like Christmas because we never know what's in there and literally have no idea what's in there. So
why does that happen? Because these products are not selling at Amazon, right?
Yeah, so it comes in a couple categories. You have returns, lost at the warehouse, expired food or out-of-date items or close to out-of-date. Most of the time it's within 4 months and they pull them anyway. And or if someone owes Amazon a bunch of money, like for a loan, and they're not fulfilling on their promise, shut that thing down and then I get all their inventory. So if you sell on Amazon, there's a good likelihood I've had one of your items in my store, or if you see someone squatting on your listing, it's probably me. So that's just know I only have probably 1 or 2 or maybe 5, maybe 10 of the same thing, and then I lose it, then it's gone once I sell through. So I'm just going to undercut your price. So one of the funny stories is, like I said, I never know what I'm going to get. So some of the things that we get are adult entertainment stuff, like dildos and things like that. And I said that. What kind? Like big ones. So we get all kinds. But the funny story is that you just don't know what's going to sell. Sometimes you're going through the whole pallet and you're unloading things. But the funny story is we had a bunch of anal lube come in. Yeah, and we had 3 24 packs of anal lube, and I'm like, oh man, great, here we go. We're gonna get stuck with these 3 packs or 3 cases of anal lube. Unintended. So the funny story is we couldn't sell it on Amazon because it was brand blocked, ironically. And so we had to sell it on Walmart.com because that's another one of our platforms.
That's where all the people go.
And
for their anal lube.
We put them up. It takes about 48 hours for Amazon to hit or not Amazon, but Walmart listings to hit our system. And within 3 days, we sold 3 cases of anal lube at $30 a bottle. So I thought that was funny. So
let's give it up for Brent.
So what are we doing? We're supposed to just be rattling off like...
What? I'm sorry. I was like, you're going to have to... I'm looking at the audience and I'm all of a sudden very embarrassed that I allowed that.
Just maybe talking about some cool stuff.
Just ninja. Make the audience go, oh my God, really?
So
you can do that?
There's really 2 things. I know I heard a lot with video. 2 main things for me with video that have been transformative is sequencing. So we use this technique called objection stacking. So basically, in essence, what we're doing is we're trying to determine through customer feedback, communication, comments, emails, support, whatever we can to get what are the big objections of why people don't buy. And then we're using those messages, remarketing to overcome those objections. And that's it's crazy. It was really, really.
Can you give us an example of like how you use it to a
perfect
certain
example
product?
was, matter of fact, Mark
Stockman
introduced me to Organifi. He introduced me to Drew.
Oh,
So one of the things we did with those guys was price and taste. So we would run this ad on price. Drew is in this video. He's in his like PJs with these boxes, all of this Organifi behind him. And he's basically telling people, try it because we know you'll love it. Let us give you 50% off because we want you to try it because we know you'll love it. And then the taste objection was, let us send you a free sample because we know when you taste it, you're gonna love it. So that's kind of like an example of how, you know, you can use that.
I would say it's a retargeted audience, right?
It's
So
retargeted.
what type of retargeted audience?
So you've been to the website, you did not convert. Oh, so one of the things that was really good with that, something I've carried over a lot. I actually learned this from Six-Pack Shortcut guys. Actually, Justin, he's probably not in here. Justin Brook mentioned it before, but I never really did a lot of it. Six-Pack Shortcuts team really taught me was time on site and how to set it up with Google Analytics. So we just basically was able to go in Google Analytics and then layer session duration greater than, you know, maybe like a minute or 2 minutes. I think it might have been a minute or a minute and a half. So like 60 or 90 seconds. So it would be, you came to the site, you didn't convert, but you was on the page at least 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Then it would fire. And that, the objection part, like really converted well, but then when we layered on that session duration thing, it literally like doubled, it like doubled the convert. It was crazy.
Wow.
So that's something we use even right now. One of the campaigns we got running right now where it's you be on the site at least 2 minutes. We only retarget you if you've been on page at least 2 minutes. You can set that up real easy in analytics. And you can then push that audience into AdWords, and then you can use that across all of the channels. Yep.
Awesome. Cool. Let's give it up. Tommy!
One more thing with video. I didn't really hear, I maybe missed a couple sessions, but I didn't hear anyone talking about this. I think this is really important because I'm kind of the guy that's, you know, where the puck is going and not where the puck is at. Programming is becoming a big thing. You guys are paying attention, Facebook Watch. They're investing heavily in content. Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, all of these big tech companies are investing heavily in content, but more specifically, program content. So almost like TV shows that they're basically taking that. And so what we're seeing is a trend of, so again with the sequencing, we're seeing this trend where, and a lot of people alluded to, you know, having these multiple videos or whatever, but there's also this trend where we're seeing more of programming style content. So instead of saying, I'm gonna have a multiple videos, I'm gonna have a message, like let's take a VSL for example. I could take that same psychology and bust it into like 5 or 6 videos, maybe of 5 minutes each, telling this story, and then I'm tying together almost like how the TV shows do. It's like when they go off, the next episode, they like, whet your appetite, and it's like, oh my God, I gotta tune in. So we're starting to see a lot of this kind of happening, and I think a lot of that is because the big tech companies are pushing the user behavior is following what the companies are pushing, and you see a lot of them invested in content, more programmable type of stuff, being digital, and I'm like getting a lot of like really solid data around there. Like I think it's gonna be like the next wave, and like I think we're about to change the game with it.
So you're thinking the next level of like brand building or customer acquisition and engagement is create those 7 to 12 minute, 5 to 12 minute like little videos and start building out a channel out of it, right?
Not even necessarily building out a channel with it, but just from a human psychology, we're taking advantage of human psychology, kind of like with YouTube. So Kind of how I got my start in the YouTube thing was taking the VSLs, uploading them on YouTube directly, and then buying ads to them.
Yeah.
So the reason why I did that was because I saw an ad on display. You guys remember End of America from Agora?
Yeah.
They had a display. I was on a website and I clicked the display ad and it took me to YouTube, and I was like, I guess maybe it's working, because the video at the time had like 700,000 views or something. But I didn't know if it was a public video too, so I didn't know if maybe it had organic reach or whatever. But my thought at the moment was, why not put that on YouTube? Because people are already consuming this type of content, long form, and that's what we did. So I took this guy to Breakup Doctor, and we had like an hour, 10-minute VSL, and it just killed it. And then I showed it to Stockman. We used the same model, did very well. Yeah. And then I'd use it with Organifi, and we just blew that up. So again, it was really leveraging human behavior that's already existing.
Yeah.
But I see that changing. And the tech companies are driving that because they're investing in all of this content, and they're pushing a lot of this programming, and the users are gonna adapt to that. So like, where is user behavior going? And then I wanna just like get on top of that.
Yeah.
So taking that Tom Brady model and then using it as a sales tool.
So let's say there's like 6 videos, okay? So they see the first video, you brought cold traffic to it. It's kind of like a mini series broken to pieces. So you're running ads to go from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and then you're just asking them for like the call to action or money at number 6?
Yes.
Or who knows, because
Yes,
actually you could be
but-
sponsoring the whole damn
correct.
thing throughout the whole thing, because that's how users are like, that's why podcasts are gonna consume.
But 6 is like straight, like I'm super aggressive conversion, you know what I mean? But the trailer, there's really more like a trailer style video that's seeding the message to get them to
Yeah, you're making this
video.
up, man. You're just
Yeah.
making this whole thing up. We're just, because we're not in a negative way, like we're just making it up. We don't know yet. Like you're seeing this is where you think it's going. Here's the
This
series,
is
boom.
actively what I'm working on
Yeah,
right
I
now.
love it. I love it.
And the reason, I mean, I'm just giving you the backstory of why
Yeah.
I believe, like I don't have all of the data yet, I wish I did, but like 6 months from now, I'll be able to, I'm pretty confident that I'm gonna be like, do this. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's gonna be like next level.
All right,
So
awesome.
anyway.
Let's give it up. Let's go. All right, Esther.
Hey, so I have a publicity agency where we work with experts who have personal brands like Ed, and we get them in the media, TV, radio, newspapers, magazines, podcasts, depending on where your audience is. And what I found, based on the conversations that I've had with you guys, is how it would apply to a business in the health space is a two-prong approach. One is the micro-influencers, like podcasts, for example, where you get to be in front of very, very niche audiences. To give you an example, I work with Ryan Levesque, the author of Ask. Many of you might know him. And so we worked with him specifically on getting him on podcasts for 11 months straight, about 80 shows total. And the book became a national bestseller, you know, Publishers Weekly, LA Times, Amazon, in all books, not just a simple little subcategory. And his business is really, really niche. So not only did the book become a bestseller, but also we added over $1.8 million to his business per year because of the back-end sales with his mastermind. And the strategy that we used there was that he would go on all these different shows and then do a free plus shipping giveaway on every single interview and track it with a coupon code to each unique podcast. Now you don't have to be that granular, but if you want to do it that detailed, you can. And then retarget them on Facebook. And people who saw those retargeting ads, same offer as the other audiences that he had, the conversions were so much better, and those were the people who stayed long-term in the membership. So that's one, to use the very, very small but niche targeted audiences. The other thing that you can do is something, I don't know if you guys caught that yesterday when Ezra did his presentation with the top of funnel, that was an ABC interview with Cindy, right? Have a face to the brand, whether it's you, the founder or the owner of the business, or you could team up with a doctor, for example, who can go and do TV interviews, do radio, do mainstream media, main publications, More Magazine, Oprah, etc. You get the traffic from those websites and from those different publications, and then use those interviews and articles for your retargeting ads as well. It's really, really powerful. Like one of my clients, we just got her on the Dr. Nandy show. It's 90 million views just on that one show. And then plus you get to have that asset, that video clip that you can use in all of your ads. So I would go for both. Go for the mainstream publicity, for credibility, for being associated with those brands. And then the niche type of audiences, like, for example, podcasts are really, really powerful. Do you guys know AJ Mirzad? He has a podcast called Online Super Coach. So that's something that is super, super
Oh, I know.
targeted
Yeah, I
to-
know. MIRZ80.
Yeah,
super
that's
nice
right.
guy. Yeah.
Because he teaches, personal trainers how to grow their business. So that's something where you would get in front of an audience that are already into nutrition a lot, and they can sell your product.
Awesome. Quick question on that. So are you seeing an increase in people utilizing like Facebook Lives or where they're engaged more, instead of putting them on a podcast, it's recorded and put up? Is there a lot more? Is it Be Live TV?
Yeah, there was
Are
a
you
lot
seeing
of that
more of that?
too. Yeah, either OBS, which is a free software, like what do you call it, open source. It's a little bit technical, or Be Live. There's a bunch of other ones. There is a Facebook group called Livestream Pros or Live Streaming Pros, and they help you with how to set it up. And then you can rip the audio and put it up as a podcast as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Or another thing, like I worked on Gary Vee's last campaign for his Ask Gary Vee book, and what he did, because he already has this huge following, he would actually charge people to be on their shows, but not charge money, but like you have to buy, for example, 500 books or 1,000 books, or where we booked him on live events, instead of the speaking fee, he would get those bulk book buys, and the book became a New York Times bestseller. So if you're working with a doctor who is already semi-famous, you can try something like this. Otherwise, the best thing to do is to go on a lot of TV, because healthcare products are so visual. And you could do even something like, let's say, what are the 5 best tips to manage your kids' sugar consumption now that Easter is coming up, right? They are eating all the Easter candy.
Right.
And it just so happens that one of the tips that you have is to have the type of supplement that you offer.
Yeah. Or add walnuts in between the Tootsie Rolls and give it to them. Be like, I'm somewhat feeling not guilty.
Yeah.
So, awesome. And you're taking clients, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So if you're any of that interests you, Esther's available taking clients. Let's give it for Esther. One thing I'm going to say is, before Josh starts rambling about influencers, one thing I was going to say was that on a brand like No Foods or whatever your brand is, if you don't feel like you're a front person on going on these podcasts, I think it would benefit your company in an extraordinary amount, if that makes any sense, extraordinarily, to hire an influencer, somebody who has, that's what they love doing, going on podcasts, going to be in the face, and then part of whatever they're pitching or doing is supplement A, supplement B, or product A, product B. It's, again, a third-party endorsement, makes you guys look so much better. Plus, at that level, you're really being an entrepreneur instead of you're trading time for dollars, hustling out there. It's good hustle, though. It's worthwhile hustle. All right, Josh, what do you got?
My name is Josh Elizechi. Very difficult last name. I'm Basque. My family's from northern Spain. I own a portfolio of brands. So about 10 years ago, I taught myself programming, then web design, started to take on clients. And as some of you may connect with, saying yes to everything and just having to learn everything along the way. Built a team of almost 80 people, sold that company about 3.5 years ago, and took a very quick vacation, which I thought I was going to be like retired and all that, and I realized I was way too young for that, and drove me nuts. So I decided to double down on the brands that we have in the portfolio, and to kind of go deep and acquire our competitors and build that out. And so we are in the health and beauty space, as well as several other sectors. We own and operate everything in-house, zero debt, zero outside funding, everything from the $100 I started with 10 years ago. And we'll do about 65 million this year in revenue, hopefully more, depending on how things go. So that's what I'm focused on. Based in Scottsdale, Arizona. We do all of our fulfillment in-house. We're bringing our manufacturing in-house as well. So learning all of those sectors has been a great challenge, and realizing kind of where to vertically integrate and where to outsource and utilize other resources has been the challenge for me. And then, of course, building the team out as well. But I wanted to mention an extension for Chrome. It's called Facebook Like Inviter. And Facebook Like Inviter, it's free, And what it does is, if you're running Facebook ads, you're getting likes on the ads that you're running. And what it'll do is it'll automatically invite everyone who likes your ad to like the page. And this is interesting because I get a lot of questions about how do you build your social media following. And previously it made sense to run ads to acquire Facebook fans. At this point, it's more beneficial to acquire those fans as a spillover benefit from running ads that are a lot more direct response and sales focused. So Facebook Like Inviter, it's free. Set it up in 5 seconds, and you go to one of your posts, one of your ads that has a good amount of engagement, and you can run up to 500 per day. And so we're adding thousands and thousands of fans that we wouldn't otherwise add just by running that free tool. And then, of course, that builds authority on the page and all of that. So I wanted to share that because I think that's something that could help a lot of people out. And then in regards to influencers, I kind of heard, I was eavesdropping in some conversations, and I recognized that one of the apprehensions of exploring the influencer strategy for X, Y, and Z business is, well, that doesn't really fit my business. Or, why would someone that's a competitor of mine promote my business? Well, I would challenge you to think one step outside of that. So for example, if you're selling dietary supplements and your target market are baby boomers, women, and you say, well, if I go after other makeup celebrities, they have their own lines. They're not going to want to promote me. Well, take a step outside of just one step outside of that layer and think about what else is that target demographic following, reading, watching, and reach out to them. So I'll give you two examples. I own a teeth whitening company that we have patents and FDA approval on, and we sell mainly through Facebook advertising. In fact, Nick Shackelford and Jake run our media through Facebook, and they're doing a fantastic job. And so we've seen phenomenal growth there. We've really propelled the growth through influencer marketing. And so I don't know if any of you are Howard Stern fans, especially back in the day. He had what was called a Whack Pack. And in the Whack Pack, there was a guy, very short guy named Beetlejuice, Lester Green. He was also in Scary Movie 2 and a couple other feature films. So if you're familiar with him, one of the things that people think about him, aside from his very tiny head, is the fact that he lost teeth, over the years. And so thinking about that, I approached his manager and said, could we do a promotion for our teeth whitening product? And he's like, well, Lester doesn't have any teeth. And I said, exactly, because it's a top of mind thing that comes to mind when you think of Beetlejuice, and he has a really strong affinity with his audience because he makes people laugh. So we ended up doing a promotion, and the weirdest promotion I've ever done, or negotiation. I offered $5,000 because I love the guy, he's made me laugh over the years, and he said, no, he won't do it, but he'll do it for $500. But he doesn't want to be in the photo. I was like, okay. So he reverse negotiated with me. But anyway, if you know anything about Beetlejuice, you would get it. So for $500, we received almost 35,000 likes within 48 hours. And it generated a massive amount of return on the re-engagement. In addition to that, thousands of likes. So that's one example of how to just step outside of that layer when you're going after influencers. The other thing I'll mention is I play in the world, my background's really in search engine optimization. And so one of the things that Google's algorithm is looking at is we're looking at the search activity for your keyword and the click-through rate for your listing in the search engine results pages. So one of the things we do with the giveaways is we'll pair that with a search engine optimization treasure hunt. And so we'll say, go to Google and type in healthy muffins. Then go and find nofoods.com's listing, click it, and you're going to look for a little leprechaun, and it's going to be holding something. And so then they go looking, click, click, click. They click on the page. They scroll around. It takes a long time on page. They're scrolling around. They look for the little leprechaun. Sometimes the leprechaun will say, click me. So that now they're going to another page. And so they're going deeper within the search result. So we're telling them what to do. And so if you do that with a mega influencer, for example, if you're able to get Kim Kardashian, for example, obviously she's the macro influencer, but if you're able to get someone with millions of followers to do a giveaway in that fashion, you're now getting spillover benefits. I read a book called The Edge Strategy, written by Harvard professors. It talks about there are edges in every business, leaky bucket scenario. And the edge is how can you get more out of the advertising than your competitors? So you're either going to acquire customers for cheaper than anyone else, ad costs are going up, that's difficult. Then that pushes you to focus on the back end. A lot of companies aren't large enough or don't have the resources to expand their product line fast enough. So I found a middle point, which is to squeeze more out of the money we're advertising with. And so that's one of the ways that we use influencer marketing to actually, we get around 7 million uniques a month through SEO. And the conversion rate is, there's only one thing better than conversion rate on SEO, and that's word of mouth. And so we pay $0 ad cost a month for those 7 million people. So you can sell on pretty much anything. But a lot of that was driven by using influencer pages to go and send people off on treasure hunts. And you got people all over the United States searching for healthy gluten-free muffins, clicking on your listing, and you can stagger it as well. So anyway, that's one of the, I guess, ninja hacks that we use in SEO. I don't think I've ever shared that before.
That's ninja. Okay, so let's give it up. So if you wanted to just completely take out your competitor, right? You can figure out all the paid keywords that they're getting conversions on, go to a third-party like news site, do a giveaway of one of their products even, like say, screw it, I'm just gonna give away their products because my brand's not ready yet or whatever. And you say, hey, go to whatever, blah, 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 type in this keyword, go down to this website, click here, find this, and you give it away, like send them some traffic, who cares? But you're gaming the keyword ranking and creating all the engagement. So when you're ready, you now turn that over, then now you can, you have the ranking. So if it's like best gluten-free waffle, right? You now own the #1 spot, so now you can promote whatever you want on that page.
Exactly, yeah, you can literally, so we've, I wasn't gonna share this part with it. This is, there's like white hat, gray hat, and black hat, and this is
do you want cameras on or off?
I'll share it anyway, just don't send this to Google. So one thing you can do is if you're facing fierce competition, especially in the search results, is you can pair that giveaway and you say, one of the words is on another page. So what you'll do is you'll say, type in healthy waffles, click on the, whoever your competitor is, I'm just gonna say GNC, click on GNC listing, and find the very first word at the top. So it's very quick. Click. They're going to see the first word, dog. Back. Hit the back button. They hit the back button. They bounce. And then go to no foods and find the second word with the leprechaun. It's holding it. So now you come back and you've got 2 words. It takes 5 minutes for a developer to put together this little quiz. And now they can get the coupon and you know you can track that all the way through. So now you're destroying the bounce rate on your competitors. So anyway.
Could you? Yeah. So could you like put the leprechaun in a push notification? Like, so they're sitting there staring and then all of a sudden it pops through things, oh shit, there's the leprechaun, bam! Right? Yeah. And I don't think you probably can't use this on Amazon at all, right?
Yes.
This is awesome. So if I was gonna hypothetically like game Amazon's engine, I could run the same influencer campaign with having to go to Amazon, find the picture of this product, click in here, use the code.
Yeah, exactly. So we have about 4 million followers that follow our brands on social media, and we've got about 600,000 people on the email list. So we'll run these promotions. We train our audience on how to do these treasure hunts, and so we can do that pretty regularly. For example, if we want to win the buy button on Amazon, we'll rush all of our buyers to Amazon to swallow up all of our inventory and kind of mess with the algorithm. So anything that's based on an algorithm, which most large sites are, that means there's a way to legally and ethically play with some loopholes and sometimes not so ethically.
Awesome. Let's give it up for John. Yeah, take it. Yeah, you don't want to follow that at all. Okay, cool. So now what I want to do is do an open frame. Jesse's going to be here in about 20 minutes. So what I want to do is now, I'd have to kill you if I told you round.
So no one really talked about this, is how many people are built on Shopify? Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna talk apps, the apps that I truly care about. Glue.io has single-handedly changed segmentation for my remarketing and for my emails. There's a 3-day trial on it. What it does is it'll predict your LTV instantaneously. So as soon as you install this app into your Shopify store, it'll pull in like, when is your drop off rate? When should you send them different remarketing messages? And this kind of helped me execute better on Ezra's strategy of, after 60 days, I'm gonna send them the specific offer. And then I bucket that specifically to, as soon as they hit my 60 days, they get a 15 or 20% off. As soon as I get after or off my 65th day, they might get a new offer on the 70th day. And the only way I got that was getting real segmented lists from glue.io. It's GLEW.io.
Oh, cool.
Unbelievable. And then we have bold upsells. They have an entire suite of things that you can add onto your store. We use it. It's fantastic.
For what? For specifically Shopify?
Correct.
Oh,
So
wow.
either bundling, in-cart upsells, post-purchase upsells, but one more specifically. I know Sam in the back in the flannel. I'm sorry. Bold, BOLD, upsells, as well as cart hook. Sam's a big fan of
Yep.
cart, CARTHOOK. That's a post-purchase upsell. And then the last is people need to be leveraging, like, obviously email pop. Privy email pop is one I use, or just Uno. I'm testing between two-step opt-in or one-step opt-in. Not too sure yet, but I always walk them through a 3-email pre-purchase flow, which is either 10 or 15% off. And then one is, you're obviously growing your lists. You know how important your messenger list is, your email list, but you need to be growing a Facebook group. I am a moderator on Facebook Ad Buyers. It's 50,000 strong, and that is the most engaged group, and these people will argue, these people will fight, these people will actually engage in real conversation, and they're loyal. So any single time, Tim owns a group. Anytime Tim drops a single comment, that bad boy is hundreds and hundreds of likes and comments. Now think if you did that for your own brand, where you're the only person speaking with your key moderators, they're just gonna be promoting you so many times, and it's invaluable, and Facebook has yet to limit that reach. And the last one is, it just got this to me. I'm running what is it called? It's called Alia Skin, and it is Australian pink skin clay. It's like the new trend. Sand and Sky versus Alia Skin. Sand and Sky is the big one. And they got featured in Glamour, and they got featured in Pop Sugar. We took that article specifically, and we were running traffic, like we're optimizing for traffic, running to their page, and it's acting as a sales page for us. So it's not showing me any ROAS, but as soon as we turned it off, I had the brand owner going, hey, like, where's our traffic? Where's the return? And it was because we were driving off of Facebook to an article that clicked to Alia, and then they were purchasing from there. So I wasn't seeing the return, but it was clearly affecting, correct, site-wide.
Just a quick question. So there was a call to action inside the Glamour article to link to the vendor?
Correct. So I made sure that it clicked out.
So did you buy to get the article placed there?
Correct.
Cool. Esther, were you going to add on to that? Awesome. Great stuff. Great stuff.
Yeah, so the way we use it with my clients, if they have an article in the Huffington Post or Forbes or wherever, or TV, like they're on Fox or something, when you use that piece of content where you were interviewed, usually in mainstream media, they're not going to let you have a call to action because they really just want to give content. But when you share it on Facebook or Instagram, instead of actually giving the full link to that article, to let's say the Huffington Post, you use a link shortener called Sniply, snip.ly, and it lets you have a little pop-up over it where you can give them a free trial or whatever your opt-in is for that, and you can retarget them as well. So you're leveraging the brand that let's say you send them to CNN or wherever the interview was, and at the same time you're collecting the data for more retargeting, and you get to have the little pop-up there for your opt-in.
I love it. Sniply.
snip.ly, Sniply.
.ly. Awesome. But I see hands go up. I see hand go up. Oh yeah, Charles. Can you? Where's my other microphone, real quick, just to make sure we're.
Can you run Sniply articles on Facebook?
Yeah. And even if you're part of a big Facebook group, for example, that are all, let's say, a support group for your target market, and you're not allowed to share big links there, but you can say that, hey, look at this, our client was featured, or we were featured in this magazine. You just share it instead of a big link and a small link, and then outside of the group, you'll be able to advertise to them.
Yeah, I love it. Love it. Can I ask a question? Thank you. Let's give it up for these guys. It was great. It was great. I'm going to go to James real quick. So with native ads, if you guys were in the room for when you talk about native ads briefly, you have a rev share on that, right? So you make money if I plug in the native ads training with iStack. I mean,
yeah. Please plug.
iStacktraining.com. They're doing great stuff, right?
iStacktraining.com.
Yeah, no, fucking great stuff. I mean, that's where I found, I think, all of you guys. So, we're next conference is in Singapore, because I think that's where you guys were hanging out. There's like 1 million people there. It was amazing. I don't know how they did it.
It's a really good source of education. They've like found very good people besides myself, but I think I'm the best. But no, they've had really good people. Now they're bringing on Nick, the Tan brothers, Tim Birds. They brought a lot of good education. They asked me to run a course on native.
Yeah.
So it's
Was it $14.97?
yeah. I honestly don't even really.
Yeah, I bought it. I want to get to a question though, because I mean,
Yeah.
okay. So go buy the course if you want to learn more. Here's what I want to ask you though was, I had listened to an interview where a guy was talking about how he crushed it on natives, and then he started talking about like certain price points you got to be at, and blah blah blah. But I was like, okay, I understand the belief system, yada yada. But I was like, I wanted to ask this question: is there, I mean, you're doing it for lead gen, right? So, could a product that has like an average order value, like, what do you recommend? Was his advice kind of limited in the sense that he's like, well, you have to have an average order value of X in order to run traffic? I mean,
No, I just personally, for natives in general, I mean, I feel like with all traffic sources, like people have said the quote a few times. Someone today said it from Dan Kennedy, but like whoever can afford to
spend the most
acquires the client. And on natives, it's a bidding war. It really is, because it's not an algorithmic based thing. So if you can afford to pay more, it's great. For you to get a full level of reach, I like to be above $25. I think 50's like amazing if you can be at $50, and e-commerce is really, really good on natives with the right offer.
Let me interrupt you quick.
Yeah.
$50 average order value or cost per acquisition?
Cost per acquisition.
Cool. So then your average order value is going to be between 65 and 99.
Yeah, like listen, a $50 to $100 order on natives is just money. Like I don't know if you guys remember the tracker, very annoying product, the little circular gray thing. It was everywhere. Like I know those guys. Krisky knows those guys. Krisky destroyed that actually, right?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Forever at scale.
Yeah, I think he actually did like 6 figures a day. I hate to like brag for him, but I believe it was 6 figures a day. And this was like right in the wheelhouse, $40 product. Everybody could put it on their dog or put it on their car or whatever, and it just destroyed natives. So if you can fall in that group of $25 to $70 product, natives will very likely work for you if it's something appropriate to a lot of people.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Okay. Any add-ons you guys want to make? You have one? Go for it. Go crazy.
So for those of you who want to try pitch yourself to mainstream media, for instance for TV, sometimes it's hard for us to think about how can I make it newsworthy if it's not a new product, right? You can't say that it just came out. Either you can use the statistics from your clinical trials, or do a survey on Google called Google Consumer Surveys with a 1-question survey. You only want one, because otherwise it will take ages to fill it out. But you can ask something that is either an open-ended question, and then you give them 3 options or 4 options to choose, or you can do a yes or no answer. And then whatever you think, the way you need to phrase the question is that no matter what people say, you will be able to spin it into an article idea or into a TV pitch idea. So for example, I did one for Valentine's Day last year for myself. And it was all about what is most important for you on Valentine's Day, to go out to dinner, to get a good gift, or whatever. It's like something like that. And so 80% of the people said that the most important thing that they wanted to do on Valentine's Day is to spend time with their loved ones. Now I have 2,000 responses within a couple of days. This counts as something statistically significant. So then TV producers that go, wow, look at this new survey, this is what it found, and we are spending all this money on Valentine's Day gift. And meanwhile, 80% of the people are saying that they actually just want to spend time with their loved ones. And so that gives you a strong hook into something that they are already covering, but with a different flavor, and then you can talk about your own content in the actual interview. So you could do this with any kind of product, with any kind of service as well. Just find something that they're finding it easy to respond to it, and Google will put it on all the display networks and all the different articles where people want to get to the content, but before they get to it, they have to answer the questions on this survey. Just make it a 1-question survey.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, Josh, go for it.
I'll give one more. So one of the other issues when launching a new site or new brand, or going into a new channel, like let's say for example Facebook, if you don't have a proper list to seed it with, there are, believe it or not, there are still pop-ups and pop-unders, and there are networks that sell that type of traffic. And so one of the things that we'll do is we'll target all of our competitors' sites, and we'll run pop under ads for pennies. There's a network called 50 on Red, 50onred.com, where you can literally load up $100 and build up an audience. You can either pixel all your competitors' traffic, or you can run a free gift offer as a pop under that looks like your competitor's site and says, get a free gift with today's order. And so now you're sniping that person's email. And so now you have really hot buyers. And the second way you can layer that is, for example, with SEO. People say, it takes forever to rank for SEO. I said, it takes me a week. They said, what do you mean? I said, I go and I type in best gluten-free waffle. I take the top 20 sites, whichever ones are running Google AdSense, and I blanket them with our ads, and all of a sudden we're able to snipe that traffic. And you can also pop that same exact URL into the pop under provider for 10 cents or less a pop. And now you're building an email list on that exact traffic. And obviously you can go further and further down the funnel. So it's like best, in my example, I would say best teeth whitener for wine drinkers. And now I'm buying all the pop unders and all the Google display ads on those forums where wine drinkers hang out. And so instantly I have a very targeted audience in a matter of days, and I don't have to wait 6 months or 12 months to rank it.
So it should convert well because you're targeting exactly who it's a buyer keyword. It's converted on a site that is exactly your demographic, and they're in a buyer intent mode. Right. And you're then sending that traffic back to your traffic. So then Google is going to say, oh, wow, this is the most relevant page out of all these.
Exactly. Yep.
Very good. Very good. Cool, cool. And on your pop unders, so the free gift, go to an opt-in?
Yeah, or so usually what I'll do is so you get a domain on Namecheap or whatever with obviously the who is protected. And so it'd be like freegiftmall.com. That way, if your competitor, if it pops up on their website, most likely they're going to use Max. And they're not going to see it. But if your audience is either, really anyone, but anyone with an older computer or that has kids, who has kids is going to have some type of malware, adware on their computer.
Yeah, my kids play Roblox all the time, then I got to keep uninstalling it off my computer.
Exactly.
Or my browser.
Yep, exactly. So that's exactly, so I think it was like 15 to 17% of Americans have the ability to show pop unders. So yeah, you show pop under, it says free gift with today's order. And now you're sniping them, and you can choose the exact URL. So you can choose their cart, for example. So you're only going to show it for people that make it to your competitor's cart and snipe all of that traffic as well.
That's really interesting because this brings me back all the way to PPV. What was your course, CPV Ninja or something like that, Goer, years ago? So the problem is that, you remember how PPV got, whatever I'm going to call it, PPV got really hot for a long time, and then it kind of it was just kind of faded. But now with the emergence of the younger generation, all my kids want to be on the computers, on the whatever, and play the game. So now all of a sudden, installs are probably trending upwards? 17% of.
I agree, because we were doing it a few years ago with the direct response mentality, trying to drive sales from PPV, and that's very tough to do. So instead, we're trying to drive data. And so getting data in a matter of a week, we can have 10,000 emails if we wanted from our competitors' customers, because we can target just the cart segment by the cart. So we know that they've all added to cart, and for maybe $1,000, we have 10,000 emails from our competitors.
Wow. Which you can upload into Facebook, blah, blah, and just the list goes on and on. Do push notifications, find the leprechaun.
You can also follow up in an email immediately and compare the differences. So as soon as they abandon, they get an email saying,
oh my gosh, from you. They don't even know if they bought from you or a competitor.
Right.
That is awesome. That's freaking awesome. Because he's driving them from a pop under that's offering a free gift. When they click on it, they go to an opt-in page. Yeah, that's how you do it. Yeah, I love it. All right, let's give it up for these guys. Hey.
All right, so hey, it's Ed again. Hopefully you enjoyed that episode. And if any of this information is right up your alley, and this is exactly what you need right now in your business to get customers, build your audience, and grow your business to be something amazing, you have to learn the art of attracting customers online, which is what we do at Traffic Mastery Live. You can check it out at trafficmasterylive.com. We have an event coming up, and we'd love for you to be there. Some of the best experts in the world in one location, and we don't want you to miss out. So last I checked, we only had 150 spots and 300 live streams. So those will sell out pretty quickly. Anyhow, hope to see you there. So go check it out, trafficmasterylive.com. And I thank you for listening to this show. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.